must now answer math questions.
Mathematical!
Finn, you're terrible at math.
It's podcast time. Come on, grab your friends. We'll talk about very distant lands. We met the man and names a woman. The fun will never end. It's podcast time. Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm Matt.
And this is the Oh My Glob Adventure Time podcast.
Where we're going to be watching and reviewing every episode of Adventure Time.
Yeah, we're really excited to do this and hope that you enjoy it too. For those who don't know, Adventure Time follows the adventures of Finn the human and his magical dog / brother / roommate, Jake, in the fantastical land of Oo. It's a land of kingdoms, lots of princesses, candy, and you guessed it, adventure.
So how did Adventure Time come into your life?
Well, actually, Adventure Time came into my life when you came into my life.
That's right.
So Matthew, this is his favorite show of all time, and it's his happy show. And so we started watching it when we started dating and stuff. And
and she was willing to tolerate it.
Yep, it's definitely grown on me.
But now she's a fan too, so
yeah,
yay!
So this episode or this week, we're going to be going over season 1, episode 1, Slumber Party Panic.
But before we get into the first episode, we feel like we have to talk about the animated short from 2007 that Pendleton Ward made that was supposed to serve as the pilot, and it aired on random cartoons on Nickelodeon and went viral over the internet.
It was so interesting because, first off, we know that Finn's name was not Finn, it was actually Penn, named after the series creator, Pendleton Ward. Yeah. Basically, Penn and Jake follow Lady Rainicorn to the Ice Kingdom to rescue Princess Bubblegum from the Ice King.
And that's about the bulk of it.
Yeah, it's not the Adventure Time that we know and love now, for sure. It's pretty different.
And the only voice actors in the short that remain the same in the series were Jake and Abraham Lincoln, whose voice cracks me up because he sounds like Murderface from Metalocalypse.
Space Dome! Open!
Yep. Speaking of that, so Finn, or Penn's voice was Jeremy Shada's older brother.
Yeah, I actually don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
it was his older brother.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. But I really think Jeremy Shada does a really, really good job in Adventure Time, and I think his voice fits Finn's character better than the other voice.
And we get to be those 30-something-year-olds that met him at Comic-Con.
Yeah, and we met him. We got his signature. We bought an Adventure Time poster and got his signature on the poster, and then we got pictures with him, and that was really, really cool.
And to wrap up the info about the animated short, Lady Rainicorn coos like a pigeon instead of speaking Korean. The humor in the episode seemed like it was a lot more aimed for just kids than the series ended up being.
Yeah. So,
on to episode 1, Slumber Party Panic.
So the synopsis of season 1, episode 1, Slumber Party Panic. So we're in a graveyard. Finn and Princess Bubblegum are together. She's testing out a decorpsinator serum on a deceased old Mr. Cream Puff who comes back as a zombie, and he like drips green goo and vomits. And in my notes I was like, golly, this guy vomits as much as our cat Maverick does. And he wakes up and he infects all the other corpses.
So the corpses are addicted to sugar, so they want to eat the candy people. So Bubblegum calls all the citizens to the palace, but to avoid the panic, she tricks them into thinking there's a giant slumber party going on.
And the reason why she doesn't want them to panic.
So we find out that the candy people explode from fear, but it's a pretty inconsistent thing throughout the series. It comes back every now and then. The show has a lot of inconsistencies, but I seriously doubt that the writers took that kind of stuff too seriously.
So Bubblegum makes Finn royal promise that he won't tell the candy folk or Jake about the zombies. But Jake is onto him. He knows something is going on the whole episode and gets annoyed that Finn won't tell him. And to distract Jake, Finn makes him play 7 Minutes in Heaven with Lady Rainicorn. So some of the people hear these noises outside and banging on the door. And so Finn's like, what noises? I don't know what you're talking about. And then he turns on a bunch of techno music to drown out the sounds of the zombies.
Then he has everybody blindfolded to play Smash the Pinata, and they unknowingly take out the whole zombie horde.
Yeah, and they start, like, eating the candy that's inside of the zombie horde, which I thought was really funny.
Yep. How come that didn't turn them into zombies?
Yeah, see, I'm wondering that, too. So what happens then, all the zombies are dead. They're kind of, like, munching on the candy, and then Jake and Lady Rainicorn finish their 7 minutes. They're like, what the what? And Finn totally spills the beans, breaking this royal promise that he made.
So then time freezes, and the Guardians of the Royal Promise pull Finn from the palace to solve a math problem or die. It's 2 plus 2. He guesses it, and 4 also happens to be the key to solving the decorpsinator serum. I don't know why I can't say that. And that's pretty much, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole episode.
Yeah, and then we see them pouring now this new serum on everybody, and everybody's, like, dead relatives or people are coming back to life, and I don't know. It's kind of funny.
The episode ends with Finn squeezing Starchy and making him fart.
Yep.
That's something I love about the show, too. Every episode, or almost every episode, ends super abruptly.
Yeah, that is one of your favorite things. Every time we watch a show and it ends just like that, he's just like, every episode, it just ends so abruptly. And it's really funny.
I say it every time.
He does say it
exactly
every time.
like that.
Yep,
like
exactly.
the surfer bro.
Like the surfer bro. Brah. Broseph.
Broseph Gordon-Levitt. So, did you like the episode?
I did. I really felt like this was a middle of the series episode. Like, it was really interesting to me. I had actually seen this episode before I knew that it was episode 1. Like, we'd watched it randomly once. And I was really amazed at how many characters we met. And I thought that it was just really interesting. I thought Princess Bubblegum, and this is kind of a bummer. She's kind of rude to Finn, and I don't really care for that attitude.
Yeah, that kind of builds throughout the series, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and she, like, dates random guys. Like, she dated a cream puff. What's up with that? That she created? Question mark?
That'd be like if I was trying to think of something clever, but I don't make anything. That's like if I dated this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, and filled it with cream. Gross. Yeah, that was... Sorry. Okay, anyway, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was good. So if you're an adult who was seeing the show when it first aired and like your kids wanted to see it or something, and then you heard the line, "Give me some sugar, baby," taken straight out of Army of Darkness, you know right away that there's going to be jokes in this show that go right over a kid's head.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
So
it's obvious too, and you're like, interesting.
yeah, there's all sorts, and there's some episodes that are just made to creep people out, and I just find it hilarious.
Yeah.
So the series creator Pendleton Ward grew up watching shows like Ren and Stimpy and Real Monsters and all the weird 90s cartoons. And you can totally see that bleeding into his show, which is probably why the show has such a big adult fan base, people in their 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned earlier that there's a lot of characters that show up in this first episode.
Yeah. And I think we saw a whole bunch of them that we're going to see again and again.
So we got Mr. Cupcake, Sorry.
Which I was going to say that it was really funny because they were doing Truth or Dare at one point in the episode. We forgot to mention that. And the chocolate-covered strawberry dares Mr. Cupcake to take off his wrapper. And he totally does. And I'm like, I didn't know he was chocolate.
Little racial humor in Adventure Time.
I know. I was like, what the what? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So you have Mr. Cupcake, Tree Trunks...
Sorry.
I don't know why.
She freaks me out, man.
That's why it's so funny.
She freaks me out every time.
Apple pie.
She reminds me of the crazy cat lady on The Simpsons. Like that equivalent. Yeah, like I just don't get it. Anyway, go ahead.
So you got Peppermint Butler, whose voice is a little weird.
And we know he's going to be freaky deaky later.
You got Starchy and Manfred the Talking Pinata, who I completely forgot about.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of characters that you consistently see in the background.
Yeah, we watched one that was like a couple seasons down, and we still see those same characters. So I guess that's why I was like, wait, what? This is the very first episode, and we already meet all these characters? It was
But
pretty...
who we didn't see is Ice King
Yeah.
or BMO.
That's right. We didn't meet BMO yet. And then, of course, Space Lump...
Oh, and Lumpy Space Princess.
Yeah, that one.
But she's coming up in the next
Oh,
episode.
I feel like a dork because I couldn't say the name right. Okay.
Full disclosure.
Yes.
Neither of us is a big fan of BMO.
No, not even a little.
So, all right. Sorry, we're not going to be praising every episode that we talk about. There are definitely a bunch that we're not huge fans of, and a lot of them, we'll get into it when we get to it.
In the tree part of the tree. We love that one.
In the tree, part of the tree.
Well,
That comes way later.
I know. Okay, anyway, so What are things that you liked about the episode, Matt?
I like that right off the bat you see how crazy and weird the humor is in the show. It's high energy. It's like a fever dream for a kid that's way too hopped up on sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar fever dream.
Yeah. I like the uniqueness of the style. So I was never a fan of like those 90s cartoons. Like Ren and Stimpy just like grossed me out. I have an issue with like certain kind of like animation and things getting like, anyway. But what I really like about this is it can be silly, it can be goofy, it can be whatever, and it doesn't weird me out, even though some of it's so just, it's not off color, but it's just unique and just odd. And I like that about it.
Yeah, this is totally my jam. If this show came out in the 90s, this would have been my favorite show as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I drew comics all the time with some friends back in school. Just that shows you what kind of kid I was. And this is totally something in the vein of what we would have made. It's just crazy, weird humor. I started watching the show a couple years after it came out. My nephew was watching it, and I think the first episode I saw had Lemon Grab, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah, yeah.
I instantly fell in love with it, with its obnoxiousness. And at this point, I'm pretty sure both my niece and nephew have outgrown the show before I have.
Well, I think it's because they're kids. They don't appreciate the awesomeness of it yet.
That's right. Kids don't know crap.
You're a jerk. So, what things did you not like?
I am actually perfectly fine with this episode. There's some things that change later, like the Royal Guards. I don't remember what their names are later in the series, but in this one, they're the Guards of the Royal Promise. Their name is changed to just the Royal Guard or something like that. Mm-hmm. But some things are different, but I don't think it's bad at all.
Well, I don't think it's bad. There's some things I didn't like Bubblegum really treats, like, she's so condescending to Finn. That just irritated me a little bit.
She's not my favorite either.
No, I don't know why. Like, she was, like, my favorite when I was watching it in other episodes. And, like, now, like, this episode is just, like...
Team Flame Princess.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite line from the episode?
Okay, so there are some really notable lines. And am I only allowed to really pick one?
You can do a couple.
Okay. So it was funny when we were watching this. We're trying to prepare. And our favorite one, we like the one from Tree Trunks. When he says, get your hot buns in... Oh, no. It was Finn saying to Tree Trunks. He's like, Tree Trunks, get your hot buns in here, girl.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. I think that was really funny. But I think my number one was Jake saying, you're crazier than a cannibal tonight.
Awesome. That was one of the ones I wrote down.
Yeah. I also like Slam Cow. That was Tops.
Crap. I think we have all the same lines. Fine, I'll throw it. Give me some sugar, baby.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right.
Did you have all the same ones?
We had all the same ones.
That's great. That's great. Oh, one thing I thought was really funny in this episode was how that when he had to answer the math problem, I think it's really funny how he uses two math-related exclamations, algebraic and mathematical, and yet he's really bad at math. Yep. So I just thought that was really funny. I wanted to point that out.
Alphanumeric.
Alphanumeric.
Oh, and now comes my favorite part of the show. Do your best impression of a character from this episode.
I'll do my favorite. Give me some sugar, baby. I was just chewing his arm.
And now I'm bleeding profusely. Oh, God, I can't do any voices.
You can do all the voices. Matt will always school me in this because he's good.
No, I can't do John DiMaggio's voice at all. I'll try, though. You're crazier than a cucumber tonight.
He said cucumber.
Oh, wait, crap. Oh, well.
Try again.
You are crazier than a cannibal. I can't even finish it. That's so bad. Smell a cow. That was Tops. We'll work on these.
Yeah, we got to work on them. We'll have better presentations in future episodes.
So that just about does it for the first episode. This is a work in progress, but we are working on a possible Facebook page, a website, maybe YouTube channel, and we would love to get some feedback. What do you like? What do you not like? What could we improve?
Next week, we're going to be covering Season 1, Episode 2, Trouble in Lumpy Space. Yes. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry.